Hi there. I'm going to depart from my normal format today, and I'm going to be a little more personal, and I'm going to talk about the joys of being a polyglot in the 21st century, the age of globalization. And I'm doing this because I had to go for an ultrasound the other day, and after that, around 11:30, quarter to 12, I went to this little cafe, and it advertised itself as homemade this, homemade that, and sure enough, the coffee was delicious, and I had a vegetable quiche which was delicious. And so I'm thinking to myself, wow, here are these people who are putting all of their care and love into making this wonderful little cafe and delicious food. They actually serve me. And I thought all of the different people who work for me or us, okay, who are providing services, like even the ultrasound, I had an appointment. I was phoned 2 days before. I got a SMS message that I had to confirm. I get there 10 minutes before my appointed time, 11:20. 11:20, I'm ushered in, ultrasound. And by the way, the technician looked Chinese, so I asked her if she spoke Chinese, and she said yes. And so we spoke a little in Cantonese, just my jollies. Maybe she didn't like that, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do that. At any rate, then I go to this cafe, and the girl serving me my coffee, I can detect a little accent. And I ask her where she's from, and she's from the Czech Republic. So I speak to her a little bit in Czech, and that causes a lot of chuckles. And her sidekick is, I asked her what languages she speaks, and she says she speaks Farsi. And so I said, I'm going to learn that language once I learn the writing system first for Arabic. And she said that she can't read the writing system, so she was obviously born here, but speaks Farsi because of her parents. So, and that's a bit, the kind of society that Vancouver has become. While on my way to the coffee shop, I saw this big burly RCMP, mounted policeman. He is obviously a Punjabi, and he was speaking to his buddy, who looked also to be a Punjabi. But neither of them had a turban, but you can tell that they're from that part of India originally, maybe 1-2 generations. But they're all speaking English, they're all Canadian. And at any rate, so I'm sitting in this cafe, and I'm thinking of all the services, as someone living in the 21st century. Like, you read that in the Middle Ages, people just heaved garbage out the window, and it all collected, and it was washed away by the rain or something. Whereas now, the community here picks up my compost once a week. So all of our kitchen scraps, we collect them, they're gone. I don't have to worry about rats in the garden from my compost pile. Obviously, recyclables are collected, so the amount of garbage I have is once every 2 weeks. It's not that much. So that's happening for me. These are people who work for me. Even the health system, my doctor, I just go see her whenever I want to. I can get in within 4 or 5 days if it's an emergency sooner. She sets up maybe a lab test. I go there, it's free. I look up the results on the web. She sees the results. I communicate with her about the results via email. She answers me the same evening. All of this is free. Yeah, I mean, these people are working for me. Even, the products that we use. This iPhone that I'm using, somebody made it for me, for others as well. So we have a level of service. Greek learning, for example. I want to find some good podcasts for Greek. I go to iTunes. I find on iTunes Greek, you can change the flag at the bottom. We'll take you to whatever country you want and see what's popular in those countries. So I go to Greece, I find the most popular podcasts. There are 2 Greek language podcasts there. One is on politics, one is on history. But iTunes won't let me buy it in the Greek iTunes store. I have to buy it in the iTunes Canada store, which of course doesn't have the Greek podcast. However, I get the name of those podcasts, I go to their websites, and I download the podcast. So now I've got lots of good listening material, but of course I don't understand very much of it yet. So I go on to an outsourcing website, Upwork, and I find someone who at a reasonable rate will transcribe these for me. And I got my first one this morning. So now I'm able to import that into Link, and I pull the audio file in, and now I've got this lesson. And we'll have more and more and more, and I will be learning about Greek history and Greek politics, reading and listening. These people are working for me. Yeah, for some you pay, for some you don't pay. I don't mind paying. We all have to work for a living. So people who provide a service obviously should be compensated for their effort. But it's just that you have available to you such a range of services. And not only like in my community here, at a very local level, the people who collect my compost and recyclables and garbage, but our health system, which I pay for in taxes, but which I'm not aware of. You know, these are people who are helping me. Yeah, at some level I paid somewhere, but I'm not aware of it all the time. You know, I have my municipal taxes, my provincial taxes, my federal taxes, but I'm being looked after. Like, I pay for my iPhone. I pay for having the transcriptions made. But at least these are services that are available to me. You know, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, these kinds of services were not available. So I just think sometimes it's useful to sit back and say, wow, you know, we really do have it good in the 21st century. And now people are going to say, yeah, and global warming and this, that, and the other. I personally believe that we will solve the issues of global warming through technology. We're already seeing a dramatic increase in the sales of electric cars and so forth and so on. And despite the horrible natural disasters, man-made disasters, wars, I mean, these have existed since the beginning of time. I believe that we, you know, first of all, there is less war, destruction, wanton destruction, you know, of lives and famine and all this kind of stuff today, less than there was 150, 200 years ago. So we're slowly heading in the right direction. However, human beings being human beings, we continue to see these tragic scenes around the world. However, I mean, I'm limited in my ability to influence those things. So I like to focus on things around me. I follow events elsewhere. If I could influence them, I would, but I can't. So I prefer to at least be aware of how lucky I am and how many different kinds of services of people who are working doing their jobs come back and benefit me, and particularly benefit me as a polyglot. Because I'm able to talk to people through Skype. I'm able to find learning resources. On a final note, I did try to contact a school in Crete to see if I were to take private lessons for a week, what that would cost, and it's really very expensive. So I think I will invest my money in transcripts, because if I get a 10-minute transcript of a podcast interview, and even 10 of those, maybe not 10, but 5 of them, I could get an hour's worth of Greek interviews with transcripts that I can study on link for less than it would cost me for 1 hour of Greek lessons at this school in Crete. So I'm not going there. So we get to pick and choose our services, but at least this range of service is available to us. And not even Louis XIV, at the height of his majesty, had as many and as the same range of services available to him. So I consider myself to be very lucky. Bit of a rant here. I'm not sure what I was trying to say, but I'd be curious to see what people have to say. Bye for now.